Hey everyone, you're watching another episode of In Studio, and today we have Chance Perdomo.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you today?
Good. Thanks so much for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
Did you teleport here, or how did you get here?
I'm actually not here. I'm astral projecting.
Okay.
If you touch me, I'll disintegrate. So just don't.
That's the coolest part. Ambrose has like the coolest powers in the show, I think.
Well, Ambrose actually has the same powers as everyone else. He's just kind of cheeky enough to use them.
Yeah.
Right? You're not supposed to be. He just kind of goes, what are they going to do? Lock me away?
That must be fun for you, yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely cool. I get to do more effects type oriented stuff.
That's super fun.
There's a lot of the spells that I don't know, we don't really have like hand signs or anything for, so a lot of the times like I'm making them up because Ambrose is like the first to use them.
Yeah.
So I'll just be like, alright, I'll do a little something, and then later on that's like what's set as like the spell, right?
A lot of these spells, like I think they're hard to say because they're in this
Latin.
different
Yeah.
Latin.
Yeah.
Can you teach us a spell today?
If I had a cue card, yes.
Okay.
I do not. There's actually this,
Do you remember any? Because like, that must be tough to remember.
as soon as I've said them, they're gone.
gone.
They're gone. If I knew Latin, perhaps. One of the episodes where we're like holding hands and we're like reciting Latin spells, it just wouldn't go in. It just wouldn't go in. We had to like at one point like I was like this, so there's a little cue card on the floor, and I was like, okay, got it, right? Not every time. I just struggle with Latin sometimes.
Yeah. You're here in LA to talk all things Chilling Adventures of Sabrina.
Yes.
Congrats on season 2.
Thank you.
First I want to ask you, have you figured out your LA coffee order yet?
Yes. So it is a soy half-calf macchiato with extra pump cinnamon and a dash of vanilla, just a dash. If it's a smidge, it's too much. I won't have it. I'll just hit it. And it has to be gluten-free, grass-fed ice with it as well.
That's the way to go. It's very LA.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How long are you in LA for? You do ever think you'll move here? Or?
Oh yeah, I'll probably be moving here. So after we're going back to filming in April, end of April.
Yeah.
And after we're done filming, I'll probably move out to sunny Cali.
Cool.
Yeah.
Do you think you'll like it out here?
Mostly.
Hopefully. Yeah.
Mostly. I mean, it always gets a bit funny being away from family and whatnot.
Yeah.
But this is where a lot of the work is, and working on getting my family out here as well. They're all American, have American passports,
That's awesome.
as well as British, so it can work out.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Now, first, I wanted to know, when did this project first come to you? Because I heard a story that you were originally going to be on Riverdale as Jughead.
Was I?
Is that true?
Oh no, yeah. So one of my first auditions actually was for Riverdale, right? Did some self tapes, and I got quite a few rounds, right? And I had no idea how close I got, right? I know it was closer than like just before flying out or something, but yeah. So they kept me in mind, and I had no idea until later. They were like, Roberto was like, brother, do you know how close you got? And I was like, no, you want to tell me? He was like, it was almost you, and I was like, wow, okay.
Sting a little bit though too.
No, like I'm not even mad. Like
Yeah.
like I grew up watching Cole Sprouse and whatnot, and his brother, and to have come close and lose it to one of the people I used to watch, I was like, yo,
That works.
so good, yeah.
Now, as a young actor, when did you realize you first wanted to get into acting and decide if this is what you wanted to do?
So when I was a toddler, right, the two things I wanted to be, and this is a true story, no word of a lie. First was to be on Barney, and the second thing was to be the first Black president of the United States of America. Now Obama beat me to that one.
Yeah.
But for a toddler, Barney was I want to be an actor. And then it really hit home when I was 6, and I played this is a little children's book called The Hungry Caterpillar.
Okay.
And I played the Hungry Caterpillar. And I was just eating fruit basically for the whole like little play. And I was like, yeah, I want to do this. And I just kept going and going.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Now, what I guess kind of drew you to Ambrose? Like, how do you relate to him? Do you relate to him? Or?
Well, yeah, like what kind of draws me to characters?
Because the character, going back to the Riverdale story, he was kind of written in for you, with you in mind.
Yeah, Roberto actually, which is a blessing. Like he kept me in mind. It was like, so Jughead's gonna go to Cole, but it's like, what can we get? What can we get this guy? And I was like, no way. Like he wrote it with me in mind, and so it was. I didn't actually know that until afterwards. But what draws me to the character is like any character is the complexity of them. Like he's an old man in a young man's body, so like to play that behind the eyes, like a sense of like precocious wisdom, but isn't actually precocious because he's actually old. It's pretty dope to have the old but young. That kind of like juxtaposition,
That's perfect, and he's definitely one of the standout characters in the show. Would you agree?
Thank you for saying so.
Do you agree? Or you're just
I don't know if I can agree like that. Well, it's just like, thank you.
Besides Ambrose, what other characters do you relate to in the show?
Prudence, Lucy's character, Aunt Hilda.
Oh, really? Why?
Yeah, because she's got a big heart, and family's very, very close to her, right? And you know, family's a big thing for me, like first and foremost. And she's bubbly, she's sweet, just like Lucy.
Yeah.
But at the same time, don't mess with Hilda. Like she's unassuming, but she'll flip.
Are you still in favor of Hilda over Zelda? Is that your favorite aunt?
I have no preference. That's too controversial. Don't split the
I think
fandom.
that's what you're getting at here.
Personally, I like the character, what I can relate to.
Yeah.
No.
That makes sense. No, she's great.
Zelda will be more a bit like my mum. She's more Zelda's more of like the powerful matriarch of the family. Yeah, but they're a good team. They kind of complement each other.
And then she marries
Father Blackwood. Yes.
Yeah, and that kind of makes for you part of the thing was Ambrose was on this chase. They were kind of hunting him down. Can you kind of talk about those scenes and filming that for the character?
So he ends up hunting him down a bit later on in the series. So like he kind of questions his loyalties for a second, and then decides and understands that Blackwood is no good for his family.
Yeah.
So then he goes off on a proper hunt with Prudence.
But that one episode when everyone's hunting him, remember they're like chasing you around. You're like covered in blood.
The big thing that happens where I'm covered in blood and I'm almost die several times. It was just like a traumatic event. I just kind of scrubbed it in my memory because it's.
Was that real blood?
Oh no, it was a lot of like cornstarch, a lot of fake blood. It's very sticky. There was like 3 weeks where I was just taking shower after shower, getting I had like bits of sticky blood behind me. Like I was actually driving home.
Scary.
I got driving home and I got pulled over.
Just covered in blood.
I didn't have any. I washed most of it off, but I had like bits of blood here and there. And the guy was just kind of like with his torch. It was nighttime. He kind of goes. And I was like, no, it's just blood. I was working. And I was like, wait, fake blood. And he's like, what do you do, sir?
I'm a butcher.
Yeah. I'm Dexter in real life.
For you, where did you want to see Ambrose go in season 2 before you started filming?
We actually get
Input or
input into where we think the character could go, and you know why they could go that way. So it kind of went along those lines, like his kind of self-discovery and trying him leading towards becoming his own man. That's kind of where it kind of has been going, because he's got a rich past and a lot that's coming through. So to kind of, without giving that away, but still have that bubbling and bringing the background, because we're basically setting it up that it'll have some good payoff. Well, he's setting it up to have a good payoff.
What do you think the payoff will be?
Some calamitous event, because he's got a lot in his past that he has to reconcile. And or a spin-off.
Speaking of spin-off, where we see you at the end of part 2 is you're kind of on this revenge quest after losing Luke. Can you kind of talk about that?
Yeah, so after Luke gets brutally murdered and Ambrose finds out, he's basically he's got a twofold quest. One, to go after Blackwood, one of the main antagonists, and two, to kind of threefold actually. Two, to take on all these witch hunters and hunt them down one by one, and three, to kind of like go and learn many more skills, so that because there's a lot of shit's been going, a lot of ish has been going down, right? So he's
swear.
A lot of shit. Dookies has been going down, right? So he's got he's like, well, what can I do to protect my family more?
Yeah.
So he goes off to learn. And he goes off basically on like a self-discovery massacre, so to speak.
That's a good tease for part 3.
Self-discovery massacre.
Who joins him on this is Prudence.
Yes.
Who he's romantically involved with throughout the show, and he was romantically involved with Luke. Who do you think is the ideal person for Ambrose?
It depends on which time. Because Luke opens him up to the outside world and how to love and whatnot, right? And Prudence has more of they're able to relate to each other and more in common. They've both suffered in similar ways and are able to console each other in that regard. So if Luke opened him up, Prudence can help him heal through his pain.
Now, your co-star Gavin was recently here, and he mentioned the much talked about orgy scene from part 1. Yeah. And he said it was actually your idea to have him included in the orgy scene. Can you kind of tell us about that?
So the orgy was we were, Abby, Gavin, and I we're chilling, eating some like Korean barbecue, all right. And I'm texting Roberto and about the orgy, right? And I was like, can Luke be involved, or is Luke involved? Something along those lines, right? And he's like, yeah. And then I took a picture of Gavin and Abby, just kind of like smiling, and sent it to him. And he goes, and Gavin can be in it too. And I was like, oh snap. And then Gavin sent me a video saying, "Really? Can I be in the orgy? Can I? And he didn't know I was going to send it to him, so I sent that to Roberto as well. And he was like, "For sure, brother, for sure." And then from then on, Gavin's been in the orgy. We kind of looked at each other. I was like, "Yo, should we do this? Can we do this?" And he was like, "Oh, let's do it." And then we kind of went like a bro fist thing and went orgy.
That's the way to go.
That's what bros do, right? Wait, no. Do we?
Anyways.
Orgies. Sorry. Right.
To go off that, though, you guys are all really close in the cast. Can you kind of talk about that dynamic of filming and what it's been like to kind of go through this journey with everyone?
Yeah, we've been, like, it's like creating like a close-knit family, like, for sure. We're all in the same boat together. We're all in a similar circumstance. Even, like, the older lot, the more of the adults, like, this is, like a big main thing for them too, and some of the like first big main things, right? So
true,
so we're all in the ship together. So we've been each other's shoulders to cry on. We've been we've hung out a lot. We're all basically family, and it's incredible. Like friends for life type thing, and I have so many good memories, and it's I don't know, some of the best times of our life have been together, and a lot happened in such a short amount of time.
If you were to pick one favorite memory from being with everyone, offset or onset, what
I've got a lot of memories with Gavin. So we're there chilling. I'm in my trailer, right? And I'm listening to some like 1940s-esque like jazzy type music. And I'm just there chilling. And then I get a knock on the door. And then like Lachlan comes in. And he chills with me. So we were both taking a nap. And then I wake up. And then I see Gavin there. I don't know when Gavin came in, but then Gavin came in. And then Tati came in. Adeline came in. And then I was like, all right, cool. So I'm still sleeping. And then I wake up. Ross is in. Pretty soon, like I wake up a couple times, and then I wake up for the third time, and like literally everybody's, all of us like youngins are all like taking a nap. We have Ross is in like the closet area, we have Lachlan like on the sofa. I'm like ended up on the floor, like in a ball because like Jazz is here, Adeline's there, we're all just chilling, and it was like one of my nicest memories. It was like a nice chill summer day, and we're all just taking a nap.
That's so funny. Now speaking of Sabrina, for you as kind of both starring in the show, but also being a fan of the show and the story, who do you think Sabrina belongs with? Is it Nick or is it Harvey?
That's a very good question.
I think in part 2 we see more of it being Nick and kind of Harvey's.
Because they both have their best interest in mind, right? Yeah. Or so we're led to believe. So I don't know. She has two halves, doesn't she? Right? If she wants a nice mortal life, then it's definitely Harvey. But you
should still run for president, by the way, with this answer.
Right, very diplomatic, right. But if she's gonna choose a witchy side, it's got to be Nick. Yeah. So they're both.
You gotta pick one.
They're both equally.
Sabrina is watching right now, and she's gonna base it off of your pick.
Let's like transmogrify them into one being.
Okay.
One grotesque, beautiful being.
Good answer. Now jumping into
2020. I'm Kanye West's running mate.
Jumping into part 3, what do you want to see for Ambrose going forward?
I want to see him really get to use his powers properly. Yeah. We know he's a necromancer, but we don't know to what extent. But like necromancy is, as we know, is forbidden and taboo. But he has extensive knowledge of necromancy, and there are different areas of necromancy. You have like Germanic necromancy. You have like the Caribbean necromancy, and it's I don't know, being able to use that. We live by a graveyard, right? Next to it on our property. If we were attacked, for example, would he be able to bring up some zombies to help with the numbers? Those kind of things.
Visually, that'd be really cool and story-wise.
That'd be pretty sick, right?
Amazing. Yeah.
There's like witch hunters coming, and he just kind of goes, and zombies come out and.
How do you think he's going to fare against the witch hunters in part 3?
Him?
Yeah.
I think he'd be able to. It would be tough, but he's probably able to get the upper hand. He's intelligent.
Yeah.
So what he lacks in numbers, for example, he'll be able to make up in like guerrilla warfare. Especially if he has prudence. Prudence is very powerful as well. So between the two, they'll probably be able to take him on.
Lastly, it's Sabrina Week here at the Hollywood Reporter, and next up we're interviewing Tati.
Nice.
Do you have a question for her, a fun question that we should ask?
Ask her about the samurai swords.
Okay.
And ask them about how easy or difficult they were to holster.
Speaking of the samurai swords, are there things on set that you think about taking home at all, and have you taken anything home from set? Or are you waiting until the end?
I want to take home the wand.
Okay.
I really want... There's the wand, and there's a specific leather jacket that I want to take home. I really want to take that home.
Thanks so much for being here. Make sure to check out Chilling Adventures of Sabrina back on Netflix now.
LA traffic's bad, so I'm gonna
Can you teach me how to teleport?
Oh, you want to do it as well? All right. So what you want to do? You want to harness your energy in your chest. And
Okay.
You want to go like here?
Yeah.
And let the energy rip. Ready? 3, 2, 1.
It didn't work for me.